Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group E. We would like to present our material which we have discussed in the last week. The material is translation technology in the Netherlands and Belgium. Our, mem- our member consists of Akmalul Abbas Sabda Muhammad, Muhammad Saddam Hussein, Lu'lu'il Maknun, Nandita Ramadiva, and the last one is Muhammad Najib Mubarak. In this material, we have a table of content. Number one is introduction. Then the next one is early days. Number three is Eurotra. The fourth is metal. The fifth, DLT. And the next one is Rosetta. Number seven is recent and current translation technology industry. The last one, Dutch in current translation technology. Okay. Introduction. Here I will present the introduction. The Netherlands and Belgium have history in translation technology research, particularly in Dutch, a language spoken by most of Netherlands and 60% of Belgium population. Over the past 3 decades, research in computational linguistics has been boosted by involvement in knowledge-based machine translation system development programs. This overview discuss machine translation project in the Netherlands and Belgium, including International Eurotra and Metal Project and Dutch Industrial Project, GLT, and Rosetta. It highlights the current state of academic research in the Netherlands and Belgium, focusing on statistical machine translation system, translating between languages, building translation memories, and usability of translation tools. Yeah, I think the last one is usability of translation tools. But the majority of industrial activity is in Belgium. Okay, number two is early days. Early days, Dutch and Belgian academics were not among the global pioneers in translation technology. Why? Mathematics professor Adrian van Wijngaarden did advocate a collaboration between mathematicians and linguists in order to jointly develop automated translation system as early as 1952, just months after the very first workshop of machine translation at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, organized by Yehoshua Bar Hillel in Cinderella calculation, should try to charm Prince linguistics to establish this new field, which Garden 1952 claimed, but his word fell on barren ground. Okay, next. In the Netherlands, there was no working computer, and the field of linguistics was dominated by structuralism, leading to the ban on formal linguistics in linguistic departments, publication, and conferences. Hugo Brandt Cortius, as the founder of computational linguistics in the Netherlands, developed a procedure for automated number translation in the 1960s, but believed extensive encyclopedic knowledge was required for high-quality open-domain machine translation. Then also Professor Philip Droste in Leuven conclude that fully automated high-quality machine translation was not feasible in the near future, further contributing to argument that was no economic ground for machine translation. Then also in the Netherlands and Belgium was initially hindered by adverse condition and negative option between 1963 and 1965. Amsterdam-based mathematician Evert Willem Beth secured Euratom funds for machine translation research, primarily focusing on formal linguistics. However, in 1980, the sentiment towards machine translation changed when Professor Bondi Ciaron of Delft Technical University represented the Netherlands in the European Machine Translation. The project name is Euratra. He stated that the time was ripe for a large-scale investigation of machine translation due to rapid computing power and a decrease in human labor costs. Maybe that's all. It will be continued by my friend.
Okay, the next is Euratra. The Euratra consortium involved three Dutch language groups. They are the Belgian groups in Leuven, Dutch group in Delft and Utrecht, and the University of Leuven. The Netherlands joins in 1980 with English and German as the first foreign language to work with. The Dutch teams had a significant impact on the project, working on thematic central committees. De Stombe and Jaspaert advocate for a more solid linguistic base, while Crowder argued for more solid system specifications. The Committee on Linguistic Specifications create a new framework, MIMO, which incorporated insight from unification-based grammars. And the University of Liège contribute to the French component, with the University of Liège working on the monolingual French component. The bilingual components were covered by group in Paris and Nancy. The main focus of the group in Liège was the development of working translation system for a subset of Dutch, English, and Spanish.
Okay, here is with me. I want to tell about metal. Development of machine translation in Leuven, Flanders. During the late 1980s, Leuven founder became a hub for machine translation (MC) effort. Herman Kuyers spearheaded a team for French-Dutch and that French translation within the American-German Metal Project. Originating from the Austin, Texas, Metal was primarily focused on English-German translation and was heavily because Belgian government deal with Siemens mandating research and development investment in Belgium. They were related to dictionary development and grammar writing for Dutch French. Machine translation moved to Belgium. Contrasting approaches, Euratra versus Metal. In contrast to Euratra, a project targeting full translation, Metal concentrated on developing translation support tools. Its aim wasn't to cover intricate linguistic structure, but rather to create a prototype encompassing the most common construction. The Leven group with computational language Rudy Gabbers and Geir Adrich significantly contributed to adapting the base system assumption made by the US team, should us the belief that every forage language has a cache system and designate a valence system recognizing synthetic rules without relying on cache marking. Evaluation and legacy of metal. Eventually, Siemens sold the right to metal, leading to the C++ versions acquisition by GSM for the consumer market, while the English, Dutch, and French translation Bearslip version went to Keyer's company Land. This company merged into Explanation, which currently operates a translation support tool incorporating the original metal products, demonstrating the lasting impact of this pioneering machine translation initiative from Leven. Great Adrian secured European funding in 1995 for the CECCC project, contributing to the development of a grammar for MT. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, it will be about distribute language translation, or we know as DLT. Firstly, DLT and Rosetta in the previous materials were two Dutch machine translations project initiated by Toon Whitcomb, an aeronaut by training. DLT was an industrial project that added a Dutch company BSO from 1980 until 1990, using Esperanto as an interlingua. The main argument for using Esperanto as an interlingua was its ability to be encoded compactly due to its regularity, lower lexical ambiguity, and its accessibility. DLT and Rosetta has been initiated by same person. He was Toon Whitcomb. And what is why this machine using Esperanto as an interlingua? Because Esperanto has ability to be encoded compactly due to its regularity, and then also to lower lexical ambiguity and its accessibility at the times very awesome. So those are the consideration why Toon Whitcomb use this language as an interlingua using Esperanto. Okay, next. DLT aimed at an interactive translation system, requiring translators to disambiguate any ambiguities in the output. The disambiguate representation in the interlingua would then be distributed to workstation, where translation into the target language will take place. The output will be clean translation that did not require post editing. As we know, the DLT is an interactive translation machine, so it will encourage the translator to correct and then to disambiguate any ambiguities in the input. The disambiguate will be representation in the interlingua and distribute to workstation. And this is the awesome part. The output of this machine, that it will be clean translation, that it doesn't need to do a post editing anymore. So it can be clean and then finished, seems like that. So it's very awesome for the DLT at the time. But and this is the history of DLT. DLT started as a personal project of Whitcomb, but no budget was allotted and an application for that funding was rejected. In 1982, the European Union sponsored an investigation into the feasibility of DLT with 250,000 Dutch gulden, leading to substantial follow-up funding of 8 million guilders from the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs and 8 million guilders from BSO in 1984. So, and on the beginning of the DLT was built, Whitcomb has a lot of help from the others companies, seems like European Unions, and then that Ministry of Economic Affairs and the others. So it's gonna be work if some project would be done by a lot of part of government, seems like this. So smart. And then DLT adopt the dependency grammar of Tesnier as the synthetic framework, initially designed to be knowledge-based with dependency grammar for source and target language and an enriched version of Esperanto in the middle. However, after the Calling Conference of 1988, the design of DLT changed significantly, switching from a knowledge-based system to a corpus-based design, where disambiguation was achieved through bilingual knowledge banks (BKBS). DLT adopt the dependency grammar finally in the finals, and then it's initially designed to be knowledge-based with dependency grammar for source and target language. And we know that in fact the project of this the result of this project were far from the expectation. From a modern view, the LT concept was erroneous in itself, since it was unable to distinguish the different meanings of the same work in the different contexts. So, in modern view, modern statistic-based and context-based translation program are able to produce a better translations. This is from me. Thank you.
Next slide is Rosetta. Rosetta was a machine translation project that ran throughout the 1980s at NetLab, a research institute at the Technical University of Eindhoven and a subsidiary of Philips. The design of Rosetta due to Jan Lansbergen. Jan Lansbergen previously worked on the question answering system Plica, PHLIQA. Plica was discontinued before he could implement it, but Lansbergen already envisaged another application of M-Grammar, machine translation. Jadi, Rosetta ini merupakan mesin penerjemah yang menjadi suatu proyek yang dijalankan pada tahun 1980-an di NetLab. NetLab ini merupakan lembaga penelitian Technical University of Eindhoven dan subsidiary of Philips, yaitu anak perusahaan Philips. Nah, yang mendesain Rosetta ini adalah Jan Lansbergen. Dan Jan Lansbergen sebelum mengikuti proyek Rosetta ini, dia bekerja untuk menjawab pertanyaan pada sistem Plica. Tapi sistem Plica ini dihentikan sebelum Lansbergen dapat mengimplementasikan sistem ini. Nah, setelah Plica dihentikan, Lansbergen ini
sudah memikirkan ide lain, aplikasi lain yang merupakan mGrammar yang sama-sama mesin translation juga, yaitu mesin penerjemah. Nah, mGrammar ini idenya John Slandbergen terhadap mGrammar ini terjadi sebelum Slandbergen mengikuti Project Rosetta. mGrammar is a generative grammar based on Montage grammar, which is view sentence as a compositional form intentional formal logic. Slandbergen modified this to prevent overgeneration and allow for parsing and generation. Grammar allows transformation and transformation which are reversible to fit for both parsing and generation. Jadi grammar itu merupakan tata bahasa generatif berdasarkan Montage grammar atau tata bahasa Montage. Yang melihat kalimat secara formal logik. Lalu Slandbergen memodifikasi mGrammar untuk mentransformasikan. Nah, setelah itu mGrammar ini bertransformasi menjadi reversible and fit for both parsing and generation. Lalu ada the key idea, Rosetta is for each language. Jadi Rosetta itu merupakan mesin penerjemah yang dapat menerjemahkan berbagai bahasa. Jadi nggak cuma menerjemahkan bahasa Belanda aja. Next is Rosetta 1. Rosetta 1, Slandbergen and engineer Joep Roos, 1979, proposed a machine translation system for Philips management. They demoed Rosetta 1, a pilot system for Dutch, English, and Italian. Slandbergen secured funding from the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs for a collaboration between NatLab, the University of Utrecht, and Body Scanners Group in Delft. Philips funded the project, but only on the condition that all work was conducted at NatLab. Jadi, Rosetta 1 ini terjadi pada tahun 1979. Yang mengusulkan ini adalah Slandbergen yang mendesain Rosetta dan juga seorang insinyur yang bernama Joep Roos. Nah, mereka ini mengusulkan mesin penerjemah Rosetta ini ke Philips, anak perusahaan. Nah, jadi Rosetta 1 itu merupakan sistem pilot untuk Dutch, Belanda, Inggris, dan Italia. Nah, untuk membuat dan mengembangkan Rosetta ini jadi Rosetta 1 ini kan membutuhkan banyak biaya. Jadi Slandbergen secure funding from the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs. Jadi Slandbergen ini mendapatkan dana atau pendanaan untuk mengembangkan Rosetta 1 ini dari Kementerian Ekonomi Belanda yang berkolaborasi dengan NatLab dan lalu berkolaborasi lagi dengan University of Utrecht dan Body Scanners Group in Delft. Nah, Philips sebagai perusahaan yang ditawari mesin penerjemah ini, ditawari Rosetta ini, mereka juga melakukan sumbangan atau memberikan pendanaan kepada Slandbergen untuk mengembangkan Rosetta. Tapi dengan syarat Rosetta dan engineer Joep Roos ini harus melakukan pekerjaan mereka mengembangkan Rosetta 1 ini, semua pekerjaan itu di NatLab. Lalu yang kedua ada Rosetta 2. Rosetta 2 ini a version with greatly extended lexicon and grammars and much large coverage. The experience accumulated during the development and testing of this version will then lead to a third version in which fundamental change could be applied to the framework and formalisms. Jadi Rosetta 2 ini merupakan sistem pengembangan dari Rosetta 1. Jadi Rosetta 1 itu dikembangkan menjadi Rosetta 2 dengan versi yang lebih bagus dan juga mempunyai tata bahasa yang lebih luas lagi. Nah, terus selama Landsbergen ini mengembangkan Rosetta 2 ini, mereka memiliki banyak pengalaman dalam mengembangkan Rosetta dan akhirnya mereka mulai memikirkan untuk mengembangkan Rosetta 2 ini menjadi versi ketiga dengan mungkin dengan adanya beberapa perubahan yang bisa diterapkan di Rosetta 3 ini pada kerangka kerja dan formalins. Lalu selanjutnya ada Rosetta 3, Rosetta 3. New type of transformation was introduced that did not change the semantic of a phrase and that did not need to have a counterpart in other language. This transformation allow for the treatment of many new and more complex synthetic phenomena. As a result, Rosetta is famous for being able to correctly translate complex sentences with the notoriously complex Dutch pronoun, but it was unable to handle most sentences of newspaper text or corpus of hotel reservation. Nah, setelah Landsberg dan Joe pada tahun 1979 itu mengembangkan Rosetta 1, lalu mereka mengembangkan Rosetta 2. Nah, akhirnya mereka mengembangkan lagi Rosetta 2 menjadi Rosetta 3. Rosetta 3 ini merupakan tipe transformasi yang diperkenalkan yang tidak mengubah semantik frasa dan tidak memerlukan padanan bahasa lain. Nah, dengan ini, dengan perkembangan-perkembangannya, Rosetta ini dikenal sebagai sistem penerjemah yang mampu menerjemahkan kalimat atau kata-kata rumit dalam kata ganti Belanda atau dalam bahasa Belanda. Nah, tapi Rosetta ini sendiri masih memiliki kekurangan, yaitu mereka tidak mampu menangani kalimat-kalimat seperti di newspaper atau di koran atau juga di corpus of hotel reservation atau di reservasi hotel. Jadi kekurangan Rosetta ini mereka masih belum bisa menerjemahkan dalam kalimat yang panjang seperti di newspaper atau di corpus of hotel reservation. Kemungkinan Rosetta ini memang bisa menerjemahkan kalimat dan kata yang rumit, tapi untuk kalimat-kalimat singkat atau short text begitu. Dan untuk kalimat panjang berupa narasi di newspaper, itu Rosetta masih belum mampu untuk menangani penerjemahan tersebut. Lalu the project was founded until 1991, but as early as 1987, Philips started pressing for concrete application. Although various options were researched from integration in electronic typewriters to Philips Interactive CD/CDI, no well-suited application was found. The most vexing bottleneck remained the high cost associated with the development of large-scale dictionaries. When the project ended, it was not renewed. Rosetta 4, the version that would have been made for a specific application, was never built. Jadi pada awal tahun 1987, Philips mulai mendesak untuk membuat aplikasi atau menerapkan aplikasi. Akhirnya mereka banyak meneliti sistem-sistem, mulai dari integrasi dalam mesin tik elektronik hingga CDI. Lalu setelah banyaknya penelitian mereka itu, Philips tetap tidak menemukan penerapan yang sesuai, yang cocok. Nah, sebenarnya proyek ini didanai sampai pada tahun 1991. Karena lalu proyek ini berakhir disebabkan salah satunya karena membutuhkan biaya yang sangat besar, sehingga akhirnya proyek Rosetta ini harus dihentikan karena besarnya biaya untuk pengembangan sistem Rosetta ini sendiri. Jadi akhirnya Rosetta 4 versi merupakan versi yang tidak diperbarui. Jadi Rosetta 4 itu yang tadinya ingin mau dikembangkan karena beberapa faktor, salah satunya dana, akhirnya terhambat dan akhirnya tidak sempat untuk dibuat atau di launching. Sehingga Rosetta sendiri hanya sampai Rosetta 3, pengembangan Rosetta sendiri hanya sampai Rosetta 3 karena Rosetta 4 tidak pernah dikembangkan dan juga tidak pernah dibuat. Seperti itu.
Okay, next is statistical and hybrid machine translation research. IBM's corpus-based machine translation, or MT, method in the late 1980 were met with the skepticism from the dark MT community. DLT adopted the new approach but ended in 1990 before the statistical MT. So revolution took off. Knowledge based projects in the Netherlands and Belgium fell silent, while MT research in the Netherlands remained knowledge based. In the 1990, Albert Stopp built a system based on Jan van Beckel's Amazon parser in Nijmegen, illustrating the predominant sentiment toward MT in the Netherlands during that time. His thesis transit linguistically motivated MT system exemplifies this statement. IBM's corpus-based machine translation method in the late 1990 were met with skepticism from the dark MT community. The LT adopted the new approach but ended before the statistical MT. Revolution took off. Knowledge-based project in the Netherlands and Belgium fell silent, while Albert Stopp built a system on the Jan van Beckel's Amazon process and illustrating the predominant sentiment toward in MT in the Netherlands during at the time. And then Jacques Tiedemann, a prominent figure in the statistical machine translation or WMT field, has been actively involved in the EWSLT shared task, a joint Breckenridge effort that has significantly pushed the international MT research forward. So this has been achieved through the advent of more public parallel corpora, open source machine translation tools, and faster computer with the more memory. Tiedemann, in collaboration with Lars Nygaard, initiated that the Opus Corpus, which gathers publicly and freely available parallel corpora such as the European Parliament proceedings and documents from the European Medicines Agency. And then the computational linguistics research group in the Leuven, which had previously worked on grammar, syntax, and then source development projects, and return to machine translation with the METE and METS second, and the METIS method aimed to develop an SMT system without the need for a large power.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I will explain about the next slide. So in this slide is about recent and current translation technology industry. So touch printing has seen a decline in translation technology since the 1990, with companies like Syntactic, Linguistica, and Linguistic Systems (BV) developing multilingual resources. And the other country, Belgium, however, has a significant translation technology industry with companies like Explanation, Leonard and Hasby, Lancy Crossline, and Yamagata, offering various translation service. Explanation offers human translation service, while Learnout and Hasby acquisition of Global Link and its GTS-MT system. Power of Translator add to hybrid efficient offering an online, free, case quality, MT service. Lancy offers medical translation service, Crossline optimizes business translation process, and Yamagata offers QA distiller for detecting and correcting errors in translation and TMS. Chance, together with the LT3 Groups, is the current capital of translation technology in the Low Country. Jadi di sini Dutch atau Belanda itu sudah menggunakan translation teknologi sejak tahun 1990-an dengan perusahaan seperti Syntactic, Linguistica, and Linguistic System yang develop berbagai macam thesaurus. Sedangkan di Belgium lebih banyak peningkatan dibandingkan dengan yang ada di Belanda. Yakni dengan banyaknya perusahaan translation technology seperti Explanation, Learnout, Hasby, Lancy, Crossline, dan Yamagata. Setiap perusahaan yang ada di Belgium memiliki tujuan yang berbeda-beda, seperti contoh Yamagata menawarkan berbagai macam layanan penerjemahan, sedangkan Explanation itu menggunakan human, lebih menggunakan manusia, penerjemahan dengan menggunakan tenaga manusia. The next slide. So in the next slide is Dutch in current translation technology. Dutch, the first language of 23 million people worldwide, is spoken by the majority of the population in the Netherlands and an estimated 60% of population in Belgium and Suriname. It is the eighth language in the European Union in terms of number of speakers. Dutch has been frequently included in academic and industrial translation technology projects worldwide, but has been losing ground due to the global rise of interest in growing economy languages such as Chinese, Portuguese, and Korean. In the EAMT software compiler, Dutch is listed as a source of target language in about 15% of commercially available translation technology products. In machine translation system, Dutch is most frequently paired with its geographical and historical linguistic neighbors English, French, and Germany. Dutch is present in larger public European parallel corpora, allowing SMT system to easily include Dutch paired with other official European languages. Recent academic work in Jan, Leuven, and Tilburg has used Dutch as one of the languages. The West Frisian variant of Frisian, another West Germanic language, is spoken mostly in the Dutch province of Friesland. Jadi yang bagian poin Dutch di perkembangan beberapa tahun terakhir di bagian translation teknologi ini bahasa Belanda telah bahasa pertama yang digunakan oleh kurang lebih 23 miliar orang di seluruh dunia, dan salah satu bahasa terbesar di Belanda, dan diperkirakan mencapai 60% dari penduduk Belgium dan Suriname menggunakan bahasa Belanda juga. Karena pada sejarahnya Belgia termasuk pengguna bahasa Belanda, salah satu pengguna bahasa Belanda terbesar, dan disusul oleh Suriname. Kemudian bahasa Belanda juga termasuk dalam ke-8 bahasa di Eropa yang banyak yang memakai bahasa Belanda tersebut. Bahasa Belanda juga sering dimasukkan ke dalam bahasa akademik dan industri, transaksi teknologi, karena banyaknya pengguna bahasa tersebut. Kurang lebih seperti itu. Bila ada kekurangan, I apologize. So the next slide will be. So that's all from our group. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.